last time we spoke, I was a spring chicken springing into the new year's. Don't get me wrong, I am still a spring chicken. However, we're well into the new year's. It is the 31st of January, at least at the time of the filming. Trying to upload it as soon as possible, but guys, we're officially in. Things have happened. Things are happening. Like, people have gotten married. People have gotten engaged. Babies have been born. Blake Lively's on the news. Lunar New Year has happened. You get my point. Things have happened. We're in 2025. Like, we're solidly in. And, you know, it's a good time to always reflect. However, I feel like now is a perfect time to reflect, to go back, you know, new year, new me, resolution writers, planners for everyone actually. The goals and, you know, plans and hopes and whatever you set for this year. Now is a good time to just check in with yourself and say, where am I? How well have I done? I'm just excited. I'm smiling throughout this because I have checked off a huge one. It's actually it's a long plan. It's a big goal, but I've checked off the first step, so I'm really happy. I also have other things set in stone. This is a very equivocal, but I'm sorry, just stick with me, okay? A lot of things are happening in my life. I'm glad to be alive. I'm glad to be here. I have been sick, recovered, at least on my way to on my way to 100% recovery. And I decided to, you know, check in with you all. I actually decided today is a good time to turn on the camera because apart from it being a perfect time to reflect, like a perfect time as any to reflect, sometimes we forget to check in on ourselves every once in a while. And basically you can be overwhelmed or worried or concerned basically on how to change or how to do something or how to transform yourself, basically change in some way. Like, you want 2025 to be a year of insert blank. All of this goals and dreams we have, sometimes you can feel overwhelmed or confused or anxious. Like, are you doing anything? Are you getting there? Are you making progress? A good way that I found for me is your goal. Break it down. You have to, I'm sure you've heard it somewhere, or at least someone have told you this. If not, give me the pleasure of doing that. You have to write it down. You have to see it. The only reason why you have to write it down is in your head. A lot of things are in your head. A lot of things are, at least for me, a lot of things are happening. When it's written down, your brain knows, okay, this is what we're focusing on, right? And not just writing it down. You have to break it into like manageable. Let's say I want to be a millionaire. I'm not just going to write down I want to be a millionaire. Okay, what are the steps to becoming a millionaire? You guys have heard all of this before. Why this is important, okay? I'm not going to repeat anything you guys have heard before. Why this is important is because you'll be able to see the progress. You'll be able to see where you need to reevaluate. If by now, let's say I want to become a millionaire and by January 31st, I've not done anything towards the goal of being a millionaire. And if I don't have anything like broken down step by step on how I get there, I just have this vague idea of, okay, it's going to happen anytime now. Millionaire loaded, it's going to come. Like, all of that, it's just vague and all abstract. You want to materialize what you want, right? So you have to bring it into life, okay? But I don't want to make this video long. I'm just going to speed through it so I can have like a 10-minute cutoff for myself so I can be more productive today. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is you become by doing. You don't have to wait to do until you don't have to wait on doing anything because you have not become yet. Like, oh, I want to become a loving friend, right? When I become a loving friend, then I can buy, no, let me use another one that we can relate to. I want to be a spender, right? I want to be spending left, right, and center. I want to do all of that, but I cannot become a spender until I cannot do the spending because I am not a spender yet. I don't have the money to spend, right? No. When the point of you become by doing is you start making, from the little one you have, you start making active effort to get to where you want to be. So you want to be a spender. This is not, whether or not I advise this or not, it's up in the air. I'm not going to give my view on this, but you want to get to a place where you have enough so you can spend as however you want. What do you have? I have $100. How do I get into a place where I can spend it all, like have enough so I can spend? You start becoming, like, start doing steps, like start investing the money, start like, it's usually investment is actually a good way. When I say investment, I'm not just saying throw it into an investment account and that's it. It can be the solution for some people, but you can also, maybe you need to buy some materials, or maybe you need it as a capital to start something, and then you grow your money, and then you become by doing. Like you become what you want by doing the work. You just don't wait to just become it before you can do anything. Like, don't just, the equation work both ways. Like, if you cannot become to start doing something, right, you start doing it so you become that. So I know everyone has heard of, how to be this, how to be that, how to learn how to drive, how to scale like skyscrapers. I'm throwing out, random outlandish ideas to kind of let you know that whatever it is you want to become it's like, it's there, it's possible. We have all of these goals and dreams and wants and whatsoever, and the way we can draw it into reality is actually doing that. I found, like, at least for friendship, I'm just going to use friendship just because I've done a lot of videos on friendship. I'm just going to use friendship to illustrate this. So, like, let's say you want to become a more loving friend. For some reason, you just don't know how to express love in your friendship. Maybe you just have never had the experience or don't feel safe enough to, whatever it may be, right? And you say, oh, let's say you pray, God, I want to be a loving friend. Do you think, I've actually put a video, I saw a video of this as well. Do you think God just zaps you with like a warm fuzzy feeling? That's what the person in the video said. So it's funny. It's such a good way to analyze it.
Let me ask you something. If someone prays for patience, you think God gives them patience? Or does he give them the opportunity to be patient? If they pray for courage, does God give them courage, or does he give them opportunity to be courageous? If someone prayed for family to be closer, do you think God zaps them with warm, fuzzy feelings? Or does he give them opportunities to love each other?
God doesn't just zap you with warm, fuzzy feeling. It gives you opportunity to express love. So the more you then express love, the more you draw it in. Like the best way to draw something in, like whatever it is you want, is by becoming it first. I want to be an astute financial boss babe. I want to be, all of that. How do I become that? I don't just, it doesn't just magic happen. I mean, not that I'm aware of. It's choices every day to move me to where I want to be, to become who I want to be. I become by doing. So when you have situations where you feel overwhelmed, where you feel worried, where you feel, what do I do right now? Try to think, where do I want to, think of it as the most basic state. What would this count towards where I want to be? If I want to be an engineer and I have the option of either studying right now or study in 2 hours, by 2 hours, I can rest right now and study in 2 hours. But let's say in 2 hours, I cannot guarantee that because that's a future time. Like all I have is the present. If I can't study now, it's better to study now than to wait for a future that you're not even guaranteed. And if you are making those choices, kind of think, who is this benefiting? Is this benefiting my future self, or is this going to be just joy or luxury past self would have, and it just stays in the past, right? Think of yourself as your present self makes choices either for the past self or for the future self. Today, my future self, I want to be an engineer. My future self will either make choices that get me, my present self will either make choices that get me to the future self I want to be, or make choices that just pleasure the past self and it will just be left in the past. If I decide I'm not going to study because I want to go to the gym now, doesn't mean the gym is wrong. Just follow my gist. The goal here is, if let's say you don't need to go to the gym because you already gym in the morning, but you're like, oh, I have this spare time, let me go gym more. Like, gymming is not inherently a bad thing. Studying is not inherently a bad thing. Neither of them are bad things. It's just what, the Bible says, everything is good in its own place. Basically everything there's a reason for everything. Everything at the right time, it's good, but not the right time, it becomes a bad decision. So let's say right now is the time to study. Do I want to study now and become a good engineer? Do I want to study now and make the choice that my future self will be proud of because I become an engineer? Or do I want to make the choice that pleasures me now and it will just be a past pleasure because it's just going back in the past? After that moment is done, it's now in the past and you can do nothing about the past. You can only think about the past. Thinking about the past don't change the future. It's just you thinking, and you just dwelling in the past and killing the present self. So, and every time you have a choice, just think, what will my future self want? How does this benefit my future self? Is this is this action going to go forward into the future, or is it just going to stay at this moment and this moment passes and it just becomes something in the past. So that's it. I'm done. Thank you so much for joining my little TED Talk. Oh, that's all. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Happy January 2025. Guys, we did it. We're headed into February. I hope you've been having an awesome time, checking off your goals, accomplishing your dreams, and I'm looking forward to the future. I have so much anticipation, so much joy, and positive expectancy for what the future is going to hold. And I hope, to have you guys tag along as well. And when the mood hits you guys, feel free to subscribe. Bye. The equation works both ways. Like if you cannot become to start doing something, right? You start doing it so you become that.